Italy, Portugal, France and Germany are just some of the countries SoWhatIf has explored in these intriguing FIFA career mode experiments. Now it's time for the manager's highly anticipated debut in England. The Premier League has come calling, as he'll be making his impact in the southwest of London at Chelsea. From loaning out dozens of youth players a season to their billionaire Russian owner Roman Abramovich, Chelsea have developed into a real force in the Premier League and are currently in the midst of a long transfer ban. So in today's video, we'll be finding out what if the Blues never sold their best players from over the years, as well as the players that went on to achieve greatness after their departure from Stamford Bridge. Could they overtake Liverpool and Man City in the Premier League, or could they even win another European trophy? Let's go ahead and find out. Before we get into the video, make sure to smash that like button down below, hit the subscribe button as we're approaching 25,000 subscribers, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever a video goes live on the channel, and let's get into SoWhatIf squad here in England. And yet again, another team that was highly requested by a lot of you Chelsea fans down below. And as you can see here in the top left hand corner, the main theme, the main motive around this side right here is quality over quantity. In comparison to a lot of the other what if experiments, there's only 27 players in this whole entire squad. So it's a tight squad, it's a thin squad, but let's see if the quality can get them over the line in this one. So we're going to go through the squad position by position. You guys know how it works by now. We're going to start off in net, one of the strongest positions in this side. We have Thibaut Courtois, the 26-year-old Belgium, recently moved to Real Madrid last season. Despite his performances there, he was a solid keeper for Chelsea and a keeper that they've sorely missed. Obviously now they have Kepa and stuff like that, but it doesn't compare to the man in net, the man from the Czech Republic, Petr Cech. And I know, why does Petr Cech look a bit weird? It's because we had to go and create him like another player in the squad who we'll get to later down the line. However, Mr. Petr Cech, obviously the famous helmet is missing because we can't add that in the player creation, but we had to go and make him because he's a Chelsea veteran, he's a Chelsea club legend, and we just had to have him in this side. EA have removed him from FIFA 19, so he's no longer in the game, and he was eventually sold by Arsenal to their bitter rivals Arsenal, which was one of the weirdest transfers ever, and he's retiring at the end of the season, so he's only going to make a one-season appearance considering he's 36. But those are the two keepers we have there for Chelsea. We're going to move on to the defense now. We're starting off in the right back position. It's another recent sale. It is going to be Davide Zappacosta, the right wing back slash right back. Obviously came from Torino over to Chelsea. The now 26-year-old has gone back to the Serie A, this time at Roma. As we're going to move to the centre back situation here, we have Nathan Ake, the promising Dutch defender from years gone by. He was a wonder kid back in the day, back in the FIFA 13, FIFA 14 days. He was the go-to defender to get. And Nathan Ake now, who's at Bournemouth in the Premier League, 23 years of age. Chelsea didn't really give him much of a chance at Stamford Bridge, and he has made a name for himself on the south coast of England. Obviously with those dreads looking fresh as ever, but he's probably going to be our starting centre-back alongside the Brazilian David Luiz. And it's another recent player transfer going out at Chelsea. He has now moved to Arsenal just like Petr Cech did, in probably one of the most weirdest transfers of the summer, the 31-year-old now. So he's a Chelsea fan favourite. Alongside this guy, Gary Cahill, the English centre-back, now 32 years of age, actually didn't even renew his contract from Chelsea and literally left on a free. He is now playing at Crystal Palace. They picked up a bargain there. Cahill was a long-serving Chelsea player, won numerous trophies there for the Blues. As we're going to move on to the left-back situation here, we've got two decent left-backs here. We've got Felipe Luiz, the second Brazilian in this squad. However, the 32-year-old will be our starting left-back in this side. 85 rated, one of the highest rated players in our defense, and is hopefully going to rejuvenate some form here at Chelsea in this experiment. As we move on to a man that scored at Old Trafford, scored the winner at Old Trafford this weekend, to my disgust. However, we'll move on from that. Patrick Van Aanholt, yet another Dutch player in this side. Left back now is playing for Crystal Palace just like Gary Cahill. As we move on to our third and final left back, it is Ryan Bertrand from Southampton. The left back slash left wing back is now 28 years of age. We're going to move on to the midfield. This is where it starts to spice up here. We've got Nemanja Matic, the Serbian, obviously now playing for Manchester United, 29 years of age, and is another player that featured back-to-back in these what if videos. He was in the Benfica video, and now he's going to be in this Chelsea video. As we scroll down to the second created player in this squad, Ian Robben, the now 34-year-old Dutch winger. We've had to go and create him in the player creation center, as yet again it's another case of EA removing him from the game because he's retiring at the end of this season, or is already retired, to be honest. Chelsea really should have never let this guy go, but we're going to move down to another right midfielder. It is going to be the Colombian Juan Cuadrado, now at Juventus. As you can tell, a lot of aging players in this squad that might go ahead and retire throughout the simulation, or might even drop in their overall, and that is the same for Cesc Fabregas, a Premier League legend legend, one of the best Spanish midfielders in the Premier League, made a brilliant return to England for Chelsea and now has moved on to Monaco in real life, and is a lot of Chelsea and Arsenal fan favourites. Oh, there's a lot of history between Chelsea and Arsenal in these transfers, it's crazy. But we'll move on to a player that could have become a Premier League hero, a Premier League champion. It is going to be their ex-Mercurial Brazilian Oscar. We all know this guy. He was the go-to wonder kid from FIFA's a few years ago, probably about FIFA 14, FIFA 15. Made the shock move after so many clubs in Europe were after him. After so many good performances for Chelsea over the years, they let him go to the Chinese Super League. He is now playing there over in China and won't be playing in Europe for the foreseeable future. But if you thought Oscar was bad, we're going to move on to Kevin De Bruyne, KDB, the 91 rated Belgian midfielder, probably the best Belgian player in FIFA right now. I do not know what Chelsea were thinking here. This was definitely a player that they let go of and yeah, went to achieve greatness into the future. Went to play for Wolfsburg, now Manchester City. He is a gem. He's a priceless gem, and Chelsea fans will be kicking themselves that the club let Kevin De Bruyne go. Such a special player, one of the Premier League's best. Was a victim of the loan situation, was loaned out to a bunch of different clubs, so Kevin De Bruyne is going to be in this squad. From one Premier League superstar to another, we shift our attention towards the Egyptian Mohamed Salah, the Liverpool fan favourite right now. Started off at Basel, Chelsea picked him up, and then yeah, obviously just loaned him out to a bunch of different clubs. Had a few stints out in Italy playing for the likes of Roma, Fiorentina, and then obviously getting picked up by Liverpool a few seasons ago and has just taken the world by storm there over there in Merseyside. Chelsea fans will be regretting this one too. He is a quality player now, still at 26 years of age, in the prime of his career right now. He will definitely be a starter in this side. However, we move on to definitely a fan favourite, I can say for this one. Juan Mata was loved by pretty much every Chelsea fan. The Spanish midfielder had that brilliant season for them just before he moved to Manchester United. Mourinho forced his move to Manchester United pretty much. Juan Mata, just a solid little player. The Spanish midfielder, probably one of the nicest men in world football. I've never had the chance to meet him, but I'm sure he's a great bloke, and he's just a quality player as well. What a guy. So this one's a little left field. This one's going to provide us with a bit of depth up front. We have Bertrand Traore, the winger from Burkina Faso, 22 years of age, is one of those players who's, been out on loan at Chelsea and now has made the move permanent to Olympique Lyon. We'll move on to, no, it's not the Hazard you were expecting. It is going to be Thorgan Hazard first, the 25-year-old brother to Eden, now back at Chelsea. However, he didn't actually make an appearance for them. He was on the books at Chelsea, was loaned out to the likes of Borussia Mönchengladbach, went to Belgium a few times, and never actually played for Chelsea. However, they did end up selling him, so he does count as a player they've gone ahead and sold over the years. He's now playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach and has recently moved to Borussia Dortmund in this summer transfer window. And another player who has recently been on the move this summer is the Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku, the 25-year-old, now 86 overall, was playing for Manchester United. Another ex-Chelsea player who made the switch to Manchester United. There are a few in this list. He has now left Old Trafford. He is off to Inter and recently scored his debut goal in Serie A this morning against Lecce. So for Inter Milan, he's going to be playing at the San Siro this season. It's a big move for the big Belgian. Hopefully he can do well there in the Serie A, and hopefully he can do well in this video. And we move on to another big striker up top. It is going to be the Spaniard Diego Costa. The 29-year-old Spanish striker is still 84 rated, still going strong in La Liga for Atletico Madrid, but had a good stint at Chelsea, had a real big impact for them, but he is just a gun striker to have in this squad, as well as Alvaro Morata, yet another player out at Atletico Madrid, but I've just decided to include him in here because he's on a 2-year loan deal there, and we might as well just have him in the squad, as well as Gonzalo Higuain to provide us with a bit of depth as he is now left the club, but for whatever reason, Gonzalo Higuain will be in this squad. And we move on to the last player, probably one that Chelsea fans will regret the most, but understand the decision. It's Eden Hazard, who has recently been on the move this summer. He has moved to Real Madrid. He is off to the Bernabeu and is playing under Zinedine Zidane, becoming a Galactico. 27-year-old now at the peak of his powers, in the prime of his career, is one of the world's best and is aiming to elevate his career even further in Spain. And that is going to be the squad going into this career mode experiment. What if Chelsea kept their players? What if they never sold their best players from over the years? Ignore the players out on loan. We're quite low in certain positions, but this is how the squad will be lining up. Courtois in goal, David Luiz, Nathan Ake in the middle of the park there, Felipe Luiz and Zappacosta as the wing backs, Matic and Oscar as a central midfield partnership, Salah and Hazard on the left and right hand side, De Bruyne in the number 10 spot, and it's big Romelu Lukaku up front leading the line for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But we're going to move on. Despite having a rather small squad size, Chelsea's total combined squad value is one of the highest we've had in this whole entire What If series, coming out to a whopping £717 million, just calculated upon their base career mode values. Like I said, it's less players but more quality for Chelsea, meaning they're pushing their valuations through the roof, and it's especially that front four, almost £1 billion, which is absolutely insane to think about. But we're going to simulate through the first season. It's Sir What If's debut here in the Premier League. We're going to see how he will do in his first ever season here. And hopefully the ex-Chelsea boys can get into a few cup finals, maybe even win a few pieces of silverware. We'll see how they do. We're going to have to wait and see and have a look to see how they perform in this one. I'll see you at the end of Season 1. Alright, so Season 1 is done and dusted, and it's quite the strange Premier League table despite the ex-Chelsea boys going ahead and winning the whole thing. It was a pretty weird season, and we might have seen the effect of players like Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah not being at their clubs like Manchester City and Liverpool, finishing outside the top 4, Everton being our closest competitors in second. We take out the whole thing with 82 points and nearly being invincible there, only losing 2 games all season, and it's Manchester United and Arsenal who've crept into the top 4. That is their first Premier League trophy in Season 1. They're getting these trophies done nice and early. I believe they'll win the Community Shield. They've gone ahead and won that. Okay, 2-1 against Manchester City. Pretty decent there. Got 2 pieces of domestic silverware this season. We'll move on to the FA Cup. The boys got knocked out in the semis to Manchester City 1-0. So it was a decent little FA Cup run from the lads. Alright, so the other cup competition, the Carabao Cup, and Manchester City take that one out too. Guess who? We lost to Manchester City in the semi-finals 2-1 on aggregate there. So 2 very deep domestic cup runs there. Alright, so we'll check the Europa League as Chelsea were in that this season. Doesn't look like they've made it to the final. Doesn't look like they've made it too far. Did they even get out of the group? I'll be surprised. No, they got knocked out in the round of 32 to Valencia 3-2 on aggregate. Not really a good Europa League run there. In the group stage, they finished second as well. I don't know. We've done better domestically than continentally. But So What If could definitely need some improvement, especially because they'll be in the Champions League next year. So these were the star performers in the winning Premier League campaign. We have Romelu Lukaku returning back to Chelsea, bagging 30 goals and 6 assists. Amazing stuff there with 36 goal contributions. Of course, Eden Hazard, the player which Chelsea are probably going to miss the most throughout this whole thing. 27 goals and 19 assists. Insane numbers from him, playing 62 games, as well as Kevin De Bruyne making 62 appearances. Not as many goal contributions though, only with 11 goals and 6 assists. Mo Salah getting 10 goals and 4 assists. Oscar, Cahill, Van Aanholt, Matic, Zappacosta, and Mata. Decent bit of game time besides Mata not really doing too much, but we have Oscar getting 9 goals and 9 assists. Gary Cahill with 5 goals from centre-back, and Van Aanholt putting in a shift, getting 4 goals and 2 assists. Ake was our main centre-back there, only getting 1 goal and 2. We'll scroll down, and yeah, Diego Costa and Higuain didn't really have too much action coming off the bench there, only with 1 goal apiece. And then we have Thibaut Courtois and Petr Cech sharing the spoils in between the sticks there. Move on to David Luiz getting injured. We picked up a few injuries. We have Fabregas getting 24 appearances in there. Decent numbers from the 32-year-old. And Thorgan Hazard not getting as much game time as his brother, which was expected, but you'd expect him to get a bit more game time than that. And then Alvaro Morata with 1 appearance. But that has been the squad for Season 1. 3, probably about 4 main stars in this team, and let's see how they can shine in Season 2. How will they go in the Champions League? We're gonna have to find out, but they're Premier League champions. Now it's the cup competitions, so What If's man have to focus on. I'll see you at the end of Season 2. So it's the second season into this experiment, and there's no second season syndrome here for the ex-Chelsea boys. They win the league 2 seasons in a row, this time with a lesser points tally than last season. With 78 points, they edge out Manchester City, Manchester United, and Spurs to the title there. A bit of a tighter Premier League race this season. 4 points separating first from fourth, so a very interesting battle there for the title. So What If's men just had that bit extra in them and prevailed and won the trophy yet again. So Premier League champions, 2 seasons out of 2. Can they make it a hat-trick of league wins? We're going to have to find out next season. But however, the Community Shield was at a loss here because we took the L to Manchester City 1-0. The FA Cup, it is Manchester United taking that one out. Where are the Chelsea boys? they ended up getting knocked out by Fulham in a local London derby there in round 5. So the Carabao Cup now, and we are the winners of the Carabao Cup. Okay, I did not expect that one. It's a 2-0 win over Everton there in the final at Wembley. We get another piece of domestic cup silverware this season. So it was the league 2 years in a row, the EFL/Carabao Cup, and now we move on to the all-important Champions League. How did the boys do continentally in Europe? And it looks like Barcelona beat Lyon 2-1 there in the final. We'll take a look and see where the boys finished off in the group stage. They finished top ahead of Napoli, Besiktas, and Shakhtar Donetsk in the round. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I just saw the aggregate score, and I had to stop dead in my tracks. Round of 16, a 7-3 aggregate loss to Barcelona. That is going to be one of the biggest defeats I've ever seen. Humiliation there in the knockout rounds. A bit embarrassing there for Sir What Ifs, man. Barcelona taught them a lesson in that one, but we'll move on to our star performers this year in yet another Premier League winning season. Romelu Lukaku, 2 years in a row, our Golden Boot winner, 32 goals this time, 2 more than last season, 5 assists in there. Eden Hazard, as consistent as ever, 28 goals and 12 assists for him, double figures in both goals and assists, as well as Mohamed Salah with 18 goals and 11 assists for him. Oscar, 11 goals and 9 assists, and we have KDB, the big Belgian in the midfield, the number 10, with our highest assist tally in the entire team, 13 assists for him, 8 goals as well. Nemanja Matic with 3 goals, 2 assists. Zappacosta doing alright in there, as well as Nathan Ake. David Luiz picking up a nasty injury. Robin hasn't retired yet at 36 years of age, 1 goal and 1 assist for him. Still going strong with 21 appearances in there. We'll scroll down to the older type players. We have Courtois with 53 appearances. I mean, he was our only goalkeeper, so he had to make pretty much all the appearances. And we still have Thorgan Hazard, Higuain, and Morata not really getting too much game time. Ola Aina has gone back to Torino, so he should have been in the squad nevertheless, but he was out on loan there in the first season. He's come back this year and only had 4 appearances. Felipe Luis, our main left back, as well as Cesc Fabregas, the aging Cesc Fabregas, going down there in overall, but still a decent season despite our Champions League elimination quite early there. But season 3, there's a lot to live up to. Can they win another European title? Can they win the FA Cup? And can they do the three-peat in the Premier League? It is going to be a big finale for the ex-Chelsea boys. So What If has got a big job on his plate. We'll see you at the end of the 3rd and final season. So unfortunately, they could not do the three-peat in their final season. So What If's, man, sitting in 3rd with 70 points behind Manchester City and Liverpool. Spurs round up the top 4. And yeah, it was just a decent little Premier League season. Nothing too great, nothing too special. However, they could have gone ahead and won it. They were only 8 points behind in the end, but we'll move on to the Community Shield. It's a pre-season trophy. Doesn't really matter in the end, but just for the record, Manchester United did go ahead and win that one 2-1. And see if they have any cup glory this season. It's Burnley and Aston Villa in the final of all teams. Pretty weird. The semi-final is even weirder. However, we lost to Brentford 4-3 on penalties. There are literally no big teams in that FA Cup, so that could have been an easy W for the boys, but unfortunately, they couldn't go ahead and win that. We'll check how they did in the Carabao Cup to see if they could have won that as well. No, Liverpool win 2-0 against Preston. What's with all these small teams? And then we got knocked out against Manchester City 5-4 on penalties in round 3. So now the Champions League, we'll take a look. It's Real Madrid and Manchester City in the final. However, we did end up topping our group with PSV, Dortmund, and Shakhtar Donetsk. 5 wins and 1 draw for the Chelsea lads. Did they get knocked out? No, they went on to the quarterfinals and then got eliminated by the eventual finalist Real Madrid 3-1 on aggregate. So it's a decent little Champions League run, but nothing that we haven't seen from Chelsea in the past. So Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne, and Oscar just weren't enough in the 3rd and final season to get this Chelsea side over the line. And as you can see there, the Belgians dominating for Chelsea yet again. 21 goals for Lukaku, just like Eden Hazard with 21 goals, this time 8 assists for him. He's now hit 30 years of age. KDB yet again with double figures in both goals and assists there. 12 goals and 13 for him. Oscar, 9 goals and 7 assists for the Brazilian. Ryan Bertrand, Juan Mata still putting a shift in at 33 years of age. We scroll down to a few more players. Matic getting a lot of game time. Nathan Ake as well. Salah, a very disappointing season from him. He's in the prime of his career now, only getting 1 goal and 4 assists. Gonzalo Higuain, only 1 goal, as well as Diego Costa. Courtois obviously playing all the games because he is our only keeper at the moment. 23 clean sheets is still a decent stat for him. Cesc Fabregas still going in strong at 34 years of age, but we'll scroll down. Morata, no goals. Traore, no goals. And that is the side that unfortunately in Season 3 couldn't get their hands on any silverware, but still still did put a decent shift in. You can kind of tell the big players who really carried this side to glory throughout the simulation. That is going to be it for Sir What If and his Chelsea boys in the Premier League. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the team. Let me know down in the comments below what team we should do this with next before FIFA 20. Make sure to smack a like on the video. Hit subscribe down below. We're so close to that 25,000 subscriber mark. Follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Ring that notification bell to stay notified whenever a video gets uploaded to the channel and where else Sir What If will take his managerial prowess. I've been BCHD. I hope you did enjoy the video. It has been a cracking one to record, and I'll see you on the very next video.